Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kinetic Impressions Movie News. I'm Arnie.
I'm Andy.
Today we're going to be talking about the new Steven Spielberg joint. All right, just to kind of recap the news a little bit, I'm going to read a little bit from slashfilm.com. Steven Spielberg has found his new directing job. It sounds like it will be his most personal film yet. The acclaimed director is on board to co-write and direct a film that will be loosely based on his own childhood growing up in Arizona, and Michelle Williams is in negotiations to play a character inspired by his mother. Spielberg will make the script alongside Oscar-nominated screenwriter Tony Kushner, who has become one of the Spielberg's go-to guys over the past 10 years. Kushner has previously wrote the scripts for Munich, Lincoln, West Side Stories, and Spielberg himself has previously only written for about 3 of his own directing efforts: 2001, Artificial Intelligence, 1977's Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and he wrote the story for the 1974 The Sugarland Express. The fact that he is going to be an active participant in the writing process is notable, and more than just being a piece of trivia, it lends credence to the idea that this is his very personal project for him, which means some of the specific childhood experiences for his cinematic drama. So this is interesting. First, I mean, we can talk about Spielberg and his current directing efforts and whether or not they're good or not, because I think that's a really appropriate conversation to have about Spielberg and kind of his decline in the last couple of years. I don't think he's made.
And to add that to the list, I want you to finish your point, but to add to the list, we should also talk about how I didn't know what you just said. I didn't realize he has no things that splash out at me in writing credits as far as writing credits go.
For sure, and his his earlier efforts, yes, amazing, right? And he doesn't have much writing credits. He doesn't have many writing credits for his directorial debuts. But I also kind of want to talk about the fact that he's making a movie about his childhood, which to me, it kind of warms my heart, because he's going to be making a movie about him making movies as a kid, right? Like that, I'm really interested in that, because he, I don't know if you know a lot about his history, but he was, as a kid, he was given a Super 8 camera, and he actually went and made his own home movies, and that's just really cool to me. I want to see that movie. And the thing about Spielberg that I always love, and that the thing that I think brought him to prominence, is the fact that he uses a lot of just really warm and tender, I forget the wording of it, but he's a guy who uses warm and tenderness in his scripts and tries to bring that into his movies. His recent directing efforts have not been that great. I think Lincoln was his best movie he's made in the last 10 years. And there's definitely some good ones. I really liked Ready Player One. I thought it was good. It just wasn't great, and but I also like the fact that he's going back into kind of a personal realm and making a personal movie about his life, right? And I think that's definitely something that a director should do if they're not, really doing well when it comes to directing. I think it's a good thing to kind of step back and do the thing that is a little more personal. He also has West Side Story forthcoming, which I mean, I want to see that. I want to see a good fucking West Side Story directed by Steven Spielberg. So, Drew,
you didn't like Ready Player One? I want to talk about that.
I thought it was good. I thought it was really fun. But I thought
there were some missed opportunities.
For sure.
I think it was very Spielbergy. And I'll say I'm not the biggest Spielberg fan.
Sentimentality was what I was going to say. Sentimentality.
Yeah,
very sentimental. He brings sentimentality to his movies.
Yeah, and I've always felt that he doesn't always bring that word. I'll just use that word too. Sentimentality. I don't always feel. I feel a disconnection when I watch some of his movies. And I'm thinking of some of my favorite movies of his when I go back, and I have not watched his greatest things. I have not watched Empire of the Sun. I haven't watched The Last Crusade. I'm admitting that. So I got to be careful.
It's a good movie.
I know, but I'm just saying, there's things that some missed opportunities in Minority Report is that there was no character development in the passion, the caring.
It was a little cold.
It was cold. I'm thinking of like the Catch Me If You Can, where there should have been a lot of sentimentality in that, was a little cold. And you really go through the works with these two characters in Catch Me If You Can, and like you really grow to them because it's such a long movie, and you have to because it's a long movie of running.
And Leonardo brings a lot to the table in that movie.
And Tom Hanks and Leonardo did a bang up job.
Yeah.
The direction was still a little cold to me.
Yeah.
War Horse was the one that I thought had like the most feelings of a movie.
That was a very sentimental movie.
And I think he had some missed opportunities. I don't know, I don't think it went as far as what it could have been, and as far as the play, the play or the opera or whatever it was before it was to theater. It didn't portray that to film, and so. But yeah, he's done those big budget movies. He's done The Post. He did Ready Player One, the BFG. I mean, he's had a movie a year that has a big budget. And usually these movies are, I guarantee you, we're going to see this in the Best Picture. We're going to see this at the Academy because they're like, what do we do? Not send an invitation to Steven Spielberg? And like, no matter what, like, unless I'm not saying like, unless he gains some skin color, he's not going to win it. But he's so like, it's just a thing. I mean, what do you think? Do you kind of agree with that coldness that he brings to movies that like I just never enjoyed?
Yeah, and when you're talking about it, especially with Minority Report, I did feel it there for sure, and it felt it really hard there. I also felt it in War of the Worlds. Like I saw what he was trying to do with War of the Worlds for 100%, and I think if you juxtapose that with the movies where it really works, you can really feel it. So like one of the reasons Jurassic Park is such a good movie is because it's not really a movie about dinosaurs. It is about Sam Neill's character coming to terms with the fact that he's taking care of children and he doesn't want to be a father.
I like that.
Like that is really like, that's where really, like, if you feel like it comes out there and it's really good there, then you can kind of see where it juxtaposes that in movies where it doesn't happen. Right. Like, and I do like the fact that I like kind of going back to this movie, like this is his biopic, right? And that's one of the bigger reasons why it's going to be nominated. It is Steven Spielberg's biopic. Michelle Williams, also fucking-tastic actress, and I want to see her play his mother. And I think that I think is going to make this movie. And like that's the thing too. When he works with actors that really bring it, I like Tom Cruise. I think Tom Cruise is a great actor. He's not an amazing actor, and Tom Cruise works really well when you have an amazing script. And he plays like Tom Cruise is really good at playing Tom Cruise. When he is the shit and he is in the movie as the badass, he is a very convincing badass. He does the thing of a main character that you always want in a main character in an action movie. He's the guy that women want to have sex with. He's the guy that guys want to be friends with.
Well, I also like what you said. I really like what you said about Catch Me If You Can. Yeah. Like Leo kind of carried the script the rest of the way. Yeah. I feel like the movie was better because what Steven Spielberg couldn't do with it, Leo and Tom put it on their back. Yes. And I feel like a lot of these movies, Saving Private Ryan to be one of them, like the Schindler's
incredible cast.
Like those casts carry the movie the rest of the way. Think about Lincoln. I don't think Lincoln was a good movie.
I was gonna be.
But Daniel Day.
He needed Daniel Day. He needed him to really carry them.
Have him. Like nobody. I'm just thinking, if I went to the theater and I saw, and no offense, but like I don't know, like if I had seen a younger or like a midlife Will Smith in that role, it wouldn't have been the same movie at all. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like if you had seen that version of some no-name actor, if Christian Bale was Minority Report, I wouldn't have watched it. I wouldn't have cared about it. And
Yeah,
so
for
it's
sure.
and not saying anything on Christian Bale. I just think I think Christian Bale's like a wonderful actor. But like if they just put whatever person at the time in there,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have been the same.
But yeah, I think we're getting to a point here where like it's really, especially for Steven Spielberg films, the actors. I think he's a really good actor's director, but if you don't put the right actor in there, it's like this miscommunication of tone and sentimentality that just doesn't work, and that kind of brings the coldness of it. Ready Player One was really fun. I just don't think the main character was a good actor. He was all right.
Couldn't carry the movie.
He couldn't. I think he was just a young guy that they put in there.
Ben Mendelsohn, amazing in that movie.
Yes.
Ben Mendelsohn is a great bad guy. And when we were watching him as every bad guy during that year, I loved it because he was the bad guy in the Star Wars.
Yes.
Star Wars movie. I'm just saying like the Star Wars.
He was always
he was a bad guy in the Star Wars movie. He was just everywhere at the time. Yeah. And I think I love his acting. I don't want to shy away from I love Michelle Williams. I think she's going to be great. I think this is not even her prime because I think as she becomes an older actress, she's going to get those. She's going to, I don't want to put her in the same breath as this person, but I'm just saying like she's going to get those Meryl Streep type roles that's going to get her to have a bigger career. It's 100%. Not over for her yet, but I think she's in that middle ground right now where like, she has to be placed in certain movies.
But she has proven herself.
Oh, no, not yet. It's just the age range. All actors go through this age range where like they can kind of take a break because, it's just not, and like she was this really shy, young girl and she was amazing at it. And then, she has that middle age. There's just so many parts for those middle-aged women that there's not enough parts to go around. But as she gets older, I think she's going to be one of those people who is just going to be amazing. We're going to see her in films to come. She's playing that Marilyn role. She played that Marilyn role. I'm sorry. She played that role. Yeah. That I thought was great. I just remember her in Blue Valentine. She was amazing in Brokeback. This article mentioned
Manchester by the Sea. I mean, she is
by the sea, and I was just like, that is one of like the breaking moments for me is Michelle's like monologue, which ends up being like the third act. It's like it's the beginning of the third act of that movie, and she just kills that monologue, and I just can't like. We don't know much. She has not spoken in the movie that much. And like she's just like she meets him again, and I'm like, oh man, Michelle Williams kills it every single time. Have you watched Manchester?
I have not. I have not watched it. I've heard amazing things about that. That's with Ben Affleck's brother, right? Casey Affleck.
Yes, and there's been anything that has Casey in it. There's a lot of drama, but it's an amazing movie. I want to chat with you about it afterwards too.
For sure. I think Michelle Williams' addition into this movie makes me feel better about it. Because as a guy who wants to make movies, has been enthralled with the idea of movies my entire life, I want to see a movie about young Steven Spielberg making his own home movies. That is just like, that's like something that I think I will go out to the theaters and watch and have wanted to see forever. Like, look, notwithstanding, Steven Spielberg has been a pivotal actor in the worlds of the movie industry. I think there's a quote from Orson Welles. He said this about Steven Spielberg: he was the first of us to never see the proscenium. What that means is that before Steven Spielberg's time, all of the actors and directors are all people who came from the stage. There were the people who were in theater, right? And they did theater stuff. So the movies only reflected the ability of what theater could be. It was Steven Spielberg who came and who only had a camera in his hand and elevated the technology and prowess of film to give us movies that were not beholden to the stage, but he broke apart the stage and just opened up film to be of the planet and the world, and he brought technology in that elevated storytelling. And you cannot say he's not one of the best to ever do it, because he is, and he like not even that, but like even to science fiction filmmaking, he elevated science fiction filmmaking to where it is now. If it wasn't for Steven Spielberg, we wouldn't have the Avengers movies and we wouldn't have Marvel, right? Because he created the sci-fi genre into what it is today. Into something that is serious and people take seriously.
Avatar if it wasn't for Jaws. Like I don't think that gap could have been filled in those decades.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely not. Just the elevation of it.
Right. So and then what we haven't mentioned yet is the Tony Kushner. I mean, like he did Angels in America. He's done so many of these more recent projects.
Munich. I mean, geez, yeah.
Yeah, and these recent projects that, like, I don't know if we're gonna, this kidnapping of Edgardo Ortara. I don't know if I'm saying.
Yeah. I don't know how to say that word either.
But I tried, and like this article mentions this movie that it's still like it's still even unmade. It's not even made yet, but that Kushner and Spielberg helped write the script. So we're going to get a lot of things told to us when West Side comes out, when this kidnapping movie comes out, because I think that'll tell us a lot for this project that we're talking about. It'll just tell us, like, they're going to have some practice ahead of them.
I mean, they did Lincoln together. They did Munich together.
That's what I'm saying. That I'm saying, like, they're already kind of building it, but like I'm just saying, like, recent right now, like they're working night and day with each other right now. So it's gonna be
for
good.
Sure. I'm excited for this. I really love Steven Spielberg, and like I don't know what it is. I think something happens when you become a certain level of successful, where you're surrounded by just a constant stream of yes men.
Yep.
And you don't have anyone really criticizing you and telling you exactly the things that you should be doing to make a story better. And people just give you everything and you just do anything. That's kind of what happened with Michael Bay. And I think that's kind of what's happening I think Ben Affleck's latest projects has probably been part of that. And I'm hopeful that this is going to knock it out of the park. And I just really am excited for this. I think Michelle Williams is going to kill it. I want to see this biopic, and I hope it's good. Because I fucking love Steven Spielberg. I think he's amazing. And I just want to like his movies again. You know what I mean?
No, me too. You said it best. That's exactly what I was going to say. I really want to enjoy his films again. I want him to have that passion that he did early in his career. And I'm hoping that this kind of, I'm hoping to see these next three movies that we just mentioned. And, and then maybe they'll take a turning point, because, like, if he had a resurgence in his career, the sky's the limit.
Yeah. Oh God, the guy has a blank check. He can do whatever the hell he wants. He's like Clint Eastwood.
And like if he only got better, like, it would be crazy.
Yeah, for sure. I think we did it, man.
Yeah.
What kind of movies do you guys want to see out of Steven Spielberg? To be honest, like, give us a comment, man. Like, subscribe. Let us know what you think. I have a project. It's called the R&D Show. If you are interested, it's a little bit independent journalism that I do on the side. You got any last words to say to the people, man?
Just to go watch a fucking movie.
Go watch a fucking movie. Thanks for watching, guys.